Okay. It's been brilliant on the ICC auto pairing, really. To meet GMs so easily each day. Well, I know 5-minute chess isn't the real chess, but it's fun. It's entertaining to play against grandmasters, whatever the time limit sometimes. So remember to check out the playlist of the Simon Williams game just before this one. There's a playlist link in the description. I hope you check that out. Simon's he's doing great DVDs, Dutch defense, for example, French defense. Okay, DirkGently. Let's try, I don't know, a King's Engine. I don't like fixing my pawn structure particularly. So this Botvinnik system torture. What about A6 and B5? Not fixing with C5 or E5 because I'm just giving a target to F4. Can I just generate some counterplay on the B file? Alright, maybe take care. It's like weakening of C4. Actually, isn't it bishop H3 and knight F3? So I'm not only hitting C4, I'm hitting H3 because of knight F3. Forcing moves bishop H3 takes knight F3. Forking king queen. Naughty, isn't it? But nice. Or is it nice? Hang on. Am I losing a piece here? No, take the rook. There's going to be mass munching. Knight G4. I'm sure he's not happy with this. That knight is not well placed there. Now E5 F5. I want to do something more sadistic than that. Mind you, I can follow up with D5 there. Try and break open the diagonal again. Is E5 actually a good move? F5 then D5. Take. He wins a pawn. I get nothing out of it. It's Queen H5 to H5 is on H2. He's protecting H2. A5 or D5 straight off the bat. What about E6 for D5? And then force a French defense structure. He plays E5 and move the knight. Then I can undermine with F6 later. I think I'll go for that. So I'll play for D5. Well, it's going to be a pawn sack. Oh, no, hang on a sec. Why did I just do that? Oh, I don't have to make it a pawn sack. There's knight H5, knight E8. I think my rooks are going to be better. Let's just go for that. Because his pawn, this knight's good. There's knight E3 potentially if the bishop wasn't covering it. So getting the queens off, getting rook E8 in. The rooks seem to be having a blast there. So let's do that. Okay. Let's change off queens or take and then rook E8 or rook E8 here. The knight's still good. Any use of Queen C7? Queen C7 maybe? Queen F6? There's Bishop D4. No, actually there's knight E3 issues. Maybe Queen F6. Okay, I don't want to get too far behind on the clock here. Support that beautiful knight on G4. Okay, he's weakening a bit E3 here with this exchange because that bishop was a key protector surely. Also I've got access to C2, I've got rook E8. So the position has been blown wide open. Has he got F5? Should I be worried about F5? I can counter-attack the knight immediately. Or I can play rook E8. Rook E8 and knight E3, rook E8, rook E3. I still like my position because he's got, well, mainly this juicy knight for e3 really. Then there's this e file, then there's the pressure over here, which I'm going to increase. Also there's queen b2 on the cards here. If he moves his knight, what about queen b2 and queen h2? There's rook e2. If I take, then there's still going to be a rook d2. Okay, he's catching up on the clock. Maybe he doesn't like this tactically, this position. He feels a bit uneasy. He's going actually below me on the clock. I'm going to turn off TV, I think. Okay. There's no trick like knight e5. What about rook d5 or rook d6? Rook d6. There's a knight f5 check. No, queen's protecting, so I think I'll play rook d6. Just to double on that d4, because this looks awkward. He's got silly rooks, as I hoped for. Knight e6 I just take, knight f5 is okay. Right, can I just take and then take on d4? Or g5, maybe g5. Then there is knight e6. Let's protect the rook with the other rook. Right, so, okay, if the queen's come off. Oh, suspect I've messed this up. Right, let's just move. Mind you, knight e6. Okay, what about queen g6 and knight f5? Uh-oh. Right, let's take with the king here to avoid any nasty checks. 1 minute 30. What about rook f6? There's rook f4. f5 or knight e5? Are these handy? Actually, f5, hang on, and then d4 is still a problem. d4 is a problem. This pin is still a problem here. Surely. So there's knight e5 check. He stopped knight h2 for some reason. Rook f4, knight e5. King moves somewhere. Then what? What about knight c6 there? To put more pressure on that d4 knight. Knight c6 even here. Rook f5, knight d4. Knight takes. Oh, knight takes. Alright, what about rook to e8 for e3? Or rook f6 first? Right, there's still no check. So I want to play rook e8 for rook e3, king g2, and is there any point to that? I've broken the pin. I'm trying to exchange one advantage for another. Knight e5 to c4. Or just rook e3, rook a3. Or what about h4 at some point? I think we're going to get into pre-move time when I get to about 40 seconds. Or is that too early? Okay, rook e3 here. Now, can I just double here? Trying to get a rook to the 7th. What about rook e1 first and then knight e3? I think h4. Alright, rook to the 7th. Trying to get a2 maybe. Actually, isn't he in trouble here? He looks to be getting very, very short of time. So knight h2 to f3 if king f1. Okay, it looks as though... Isn't this a mating net? Exciting game there. I think you'll agree. Let's go into examine mode. I thought I had the advantage here from this tactic. So this whole b5 worked to treat here to weaken c4 and actually nick a pawn with knight e5. This is like a routine which many white players might use. h3 and classic f4 because h3 is a prelude often to f4. But here, f3, c4. So this it just needs the bishop decoy. So that was played. Now here, okay, if he had taken take smoke clears and the exchange up. Two rooks. No, I'm not the exchange up. It's not clear, is it? It's a rook for two minor pieces, but I have two pawns. So let's revert to the main game line there. So the e6 and d5, yeah, e6, of course, just rook d1. This Maroczy bind, breaking it with d5, and okay, it means that there's no Maroczy bind anymore on d5. Okay, I can keep some of the tension going, avoiding the exchange of queens. But his bishop's like covering this diagonal and this key square. This knight is pretty though, and it can coordinate, you know, for later things like this. And it did actually end up being hero, I believe. So here it looked as though there's a certain uneasiness for White's position and a certain awkwardness of this rook and this pressure. But where is the knockout blow? Where is the knockout blow? This seems a safe idea because the queen's actually protecting. So these discovered checks are not lethal just yet to win potentially d6. So keeping pieces protecting each other is an important principle, even if you're doubling up rooks, as I was trying to do. And here it seems this is nasty now, because what did I do in the game? I took, right, let's imagine I take here, then there's check and nasty. I don't think the queen sack is good because he's always got queen g5, you know, taking it. I'm going to get crushed there. If I take with a pawn, I think, unfortunately, in this position, isn't there knight e6 forking? So if I take, well, if I don't take, he just takes the rook. If I take, doesn't he just take here? Okay, if I take here, he takes the rook. If I take the queen, he takes, and then what? There isn't a distracting check, king e3, if check, to try and win the rook, or king f4. So that's the problem. That is the problem. I couldn't take that. So that's why I think maybe I did the right thing. I avoid the discovered checks. In fact, the f pawn is quite useful for f5 in this position. So there's no rook e6, so I just take and then take on d2. So, okay, I know it's lovely to have this, but if it's not exploitable, is it worth much? That's the question. So yeah, I take both rooks off there because I want to get something which potentially is exploitable, because maybe things like h4 are going to be dangerous, or okay, in the game continuation, getting to the 7th. Okay, this was a pretty nice finish here. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.